friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. Well, I don't normally do this kind of thing. Normally when companies email me wanting me to review stuff, I usually just mark them as spam. But when I saw what this was and knowing I really needed a better setup for out front here because I was really getting tired of hassling with this big heavy hose that is so hard for me to roll back up, and I'd been considering, both Patrick and I had really been considering trying to do something different for out front here. I got to seeing what it was, and that this originally was started in Australia and pretty much took the nation by storm apparently, and recently became available within the past few years here in the United States. I thought, I really got to give this a try. So I went ahead and took their offer to get this in exchange for doing this video review, and that's what I'm doing right now. I've been using this for at least a good week straight, and I'm so happy with it. I like to use things for a while before I do a review on them, so I can really kind of weigh out the pros and cons. The guy that invented this whole setup, he started with making these quick connect things. I'll put the link down below. I recommend you go read the history of it. It is actually rather fascinating to read how it all got started. But anyway, he started off with these quick connect things, and that's what he was selling, and eventually came up with this whole setup here. And this right here you get with the Hoselink, and you can hook it directly to your spigot. We decided to bypass that because we didn't really need it on there. But if you ever have any other Hoselink attachments that you want to switch out, this makes it super easy. Now let me show you how that works on the hose itself. So I've got the quick connect here. Now this hose is on right now, and yet I have this off. So as long as this part here is off, all I have to do is line these up here and take that off, and I can switch this out for any of their sprinkler heads if I so choose to. However, you can take this off, and you can also hook this part to whatever sprinkler you already have if you do not want to invest in the Hoselink sprinklers. But this is pretty handy. If I needed a sprinkler out here, I would consider buying their sprinklers just for that. I don't use sprinklers out here. I always hand water everything. But if I ever decided to go with a sprinkler, I would definitely consider getting one of their sprinkler heads so that I could just quickly switch this out. Let's go over some of my very favorite features. Now, it does have the 7 different settings like a lot of your sprayer heads have. The cone, the jet, the full, the shower, the flat, the mist, and so on. But my favorite is always the shower, and because it has such good coverage, and you can, with this lever right here, which is another one of my favorite features, you can adjust the flow quite easily to as strong or light as you want it. And then this is also an on-off here, so if this is off and I go to turn this down, obviously it's not going to spray. Either way, if this is, you can have all this on. As long as this is off, you can still switch this out. Now, one of my other favorite, and I just thought, what an ingenious idea, is the swivel head. So this isn't unscrewing it, it's just a swivel. So you know how it is when you're watering something by hand and your hose is just not kind of turning in the right angle for you to get a good, to get the good angle you want when you're watering your plants. You just simply turn this to the direction you want it. It's so easy. I'm loving this feature so much. It just has made my, just that alone has made my life so much easier. But those are not the main reasons why I decided to jump on board with that. It is this thing itself, and the fact that this will reel itself up. You just have to walk it back. The hose will lock into place at any desired length. It's currently locked into place. If you want to reel it back up, you just give us a little tug and then just walk it back. You never want, this thing is pretty powerful. So especially this one here is 82 feet long. If I especially have it out the full 82 feet, you don't want to just give it a tug and let it reel up on its own, because you could damage this. So this is plastic. So that's the thing you got to keep in mind. A lot of these parts here are plastic. You just got to take care with it. Even if this was all metal, you would still be better and safer to walk the hose back, because it is a pretty powerful reel. And then the other great feature about this is that it also has a guide, so that it doesn't just all ball up in one spot. It actually, let me pull it out a little way so you can see. Okay, so that should be far enough so you can see how that works. So it's locked. Now I got to give it a little tug and then just kind of, how it went from left to right. And then if I had it out all the way, obviously it would just keep going back and forth like this. Now, before I go on to watering the plants and, you know, showing you a little bit of that, let's talk a little bit more about how this is set up. Now, it does come with the hardware you need to attach it to whatever you're going to attach it to. So right here where we have this area stays pretty shaded all year round. So not only is it ideal because our spigot's right down there, it's also ideal because it's going to stay pretty well protected here. However, if you want this out maybe like more in the middle of your garden to make it easier for you to use, you can attach it to a sturdy post. And but in such a case, especially if you live in a pretty sunny area, it would be a good idea to consider getting one of their covers. They have a green one that I really like that would actually make it blend in better with the color of my house, that you can cover that, and that will help protect it from the UV degradation and make it last longer and look nicer for a longer period of time as well. And then the other great thing is, as you have probably noticed, is this actually swivels a full 180 degrees. Now, I can't get the full 180 degrees simply because of the way it's set up here in this corner, but it's plenty enough for what I use it for. So being that I have the 82-foot hose, this makes it so perfect. I can water all of my front garden over here. I can water the whole little narrow strip of herb garden right over here, and even wrap around and get at least half of my west side herb garden watered over there. And then what I can't get with that, I can get with the hose that's on that other side over there. So all I really wanted this for was just this front section, but just the fact that I can wrap around and get this far end, that means when I go pull out the hose from back there to water, which I don't need to do very often, thankfully, and water that herb garden, but I don't have to pull it out as far to get that area. But it's really making me consider getting another one for back there too, in that section. So I have to have like 4 different hose setups. And we have one setup back there that works pretty good off of our rainwater, but for these other setups like this off our city water, having something like this has been pretty ideal. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how this works and in watering. I'll just start here with the deck garden. So you walk it out to the desired length you want it and let it lock in place. I'm going to get it just a little bit longer here to give me a little bit more to work with. You can kind of hear that click and you'll know about where it's going to catch. This has been so much easier than what I was using before to fill up my green stock, because the other hose and the attachment I had on there was too strong and it would just send water flying everywhere. So I can fill up my green stock container so much easier right here. And again, I can control the flow, especially when you first start it, so it's not splashing all over the place. And then as it starts to fill up, then you can raise the flow to a higher intensity until you get that. I have to stand, I'm so short, I have to stand on my tiptoes to be able to see how full it is. And there we go. I've got my strawberry green stock with the strawberries in there all filled up. And then the same thing, I can easily water all of my pots right here. And this just makes it so much easier than what I had before. Because what I had before, again, the flow, no matter how heavy or light I had it, it was too much to be able to do this. And then of course I've got more strawberry pots right here. And I can control the flow however I want. I can even water through my juniper here and get my little baby amaranth plants back in there from this side if I want. And I can water a little bit of my zucchini from here as well. And then any of my herbs down in this section right here. So that section over there was where I had the potatoes and just dug them up. And now I've transplanted some young amaranth plants in there. So now I'm going to pull the hose around to the front and take the camera over there so you can see that over there. So now it's coming straight at me this way. And the reason I'm pulling this out to what I need it is because I have to work around this fence post, and I don't want to crush my plants right here. So in this case, this wouldn't normally be what you might want to do, but I do have to pull out the length I need to get all the way over here to my zucchini and rhubarb plants before I start walking with it. But having it lock into place, once I get it the length I want, and then if I look at it and think, you know what, I think that's too short, then I just start pulling on it again and go to the next spot where it locks, right there. And so that makes it perfect. but you do have to be more careful if you're going to be pulling out a lot like I had to do. I have to do the same thing when I go over there this way because of where that is. So if you had it more center, you wouldn't have to pull it out. You could just walk out with it, unlike what I'm having to do. But as long as you're careful, don't let it get tangled or twisted. This is not an anti-kink hose, but I have had no issues with it kinking as long as I take proper care when I'm unrolling it. And once I've got it stretched out, then when I need to pull it back, that's easy. So but either way, this is so much easier than what I was having to do before. So from right here, I can water my calendula in my little carrot box. As you can see here, I got my oregano back there that is starting to flower, and I got some echinacea getting ready to flower. Okay, so let's go over here to the zucchini and the rhubarb. So here I am, and I can actually take this and extend it all the way out over there to my stinging nettle, but that never really needs any watering. Or I can just set it on a higher, like the jet, and water that stinging nettle back there from here. I still have a couple of potatoes back there, and what you can't see because they're so young was what I was talking about earlier, is right behind the zucchini plants are that amaranth. So, and then my rhubarb. Some of the rhubarb plants, by the way, look a little fried from that heat wave we had, but they're springing back pretty good. So again, I can swivel this head if the angle is wrong to go whichever way I want, so I can still have ease of use on the hose. And no fighting with it and trying to twist it to go the angle I want. I just swivel this head on that, and it just is so great. I love that. And then again, I can turn it off from here, but it's best to use this feature here. And then I just like to leave this on. So then normally what I do, instead of letting the hose, going ahead and walking it back and unlocking it, I leave it like it is. Again, this is just what I have to do for the way I'm set up. And then I'll water this long skinny strip of herb garden here where I've got calendula and red clover and thyme and golden oregano, some marshmallow, yarrow, and clear on down to that currant plant. Then sometimes if I feel like I really need to, I might go around that corner and water on this south side of the west herb garden. And then when I'm done, all I have to do is just give it a gentle tug and it will start to roll up. And there we go. It's just so easy. Now, if you tend to get a lot of grass and stuff all over your hose when you're out watering, like I have a little bit here, it is actually a good idea to try to clean it off, which is usually what I do when I let it run through my hands. I'm usually, if there's any grass on there or anything like that stuck to it, I'm wiping that off as I go. So it's a good idea to go ahead and rinse it off. And then of course you can tuck this away in whichever angle you want here. I usually keep it over here. I'll put the link down below so you can check it out for yourself. It's not an affiliate link. I don't make any commission off the sales, just so you know. However, if you're interested, this could be, if you're looking for something that's a little easier to work. Again, I'm so far am very, very happy with it, and am considering getting another one for one of the other back hoses back there. So it would just be a lot easier setup. And this would also be great for washing vehicles because of all the settings on it and how easy it is to use. And one of the things I hate the most about dealing with hoses is winding them back up. I hate it, especially when it's a big heavy hose like that gray one I showed you there. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this video and it just gave you an idea, something to look into for yourself. And you know, I suggest going to their website, reading up on the history, just learn a little bit more about it and see what you think. And I am thinking about getting that green cover because I think it would help it blend in better and just look kind of cute. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.